Welcome to the Best Friends in Franchising, where we talk myths, mindset, and money, and everything in between. I'm Morgan Knoller.
Catherine Allen, and
Let's
let's
dive
dive.
in. Okay, Catherine, so we're talking about clarity when going into buying a franchise, and that involves knowing why you're buying a franchise. What's the purpose? And I think I'll let you kick it off.
Well, first off, clarity, the big C word. I love clarity is so crucial. In the past 2 years, I've been doing a lot of personal development work, as you know. Shout out to Growth Day app, Brendan Burchard, Ed Milet, the top mindset coaches in the world. Like, I'm not getting any money off that. I just like, honestly, they have really helped me with clarity. Clarity is a very big thing they talk about. And I realized prior to listening to them that I didn't have a lot of clarity on my life, professionally, personally. So when it comes to business ownership and buying a franchise, yeah, being clear on what you're looking for. So are you buying a franchise to replace your W-2 salary, which was my goal when I bought a franchise? What was your goal?
My goal was just I had extra time, and I just felt like I always wanted to work for myself, and I had for a long time, and I was not going to go back. But I just had extra time at that moment, and so did my husband at that time, which he no longer has. But the idea was that we were going to do something on the side that would bring in a little bit of extra income. And 2 years later, fast forward, here we are, and it's like our full time. We love it. We're in it every day, and it's grown into something bigger than I think we ever thought it was going to be. So you just never know.
You never know. And what you hit on right there is your ability to be adaptable, to pivot. Those are things that franchise owners who are successful need to have. When I bought Soccer Stars, yeah, the plan, well, I was employed and ironically was at our last day, right, in New York. We were there together at the Soccer Stars headquarters, and I was laid off from my job. And I walked out the door and I saw you, my best friend since I was 4 years old. It was a lot. I'd been at that company 13 years. It was my identity. It was a big part of my identity. So I was like I think in shock. And you just are like, are you okay? And then I looked at the wall. I don't know if you remember this. The wall said, what did the wall say? It said, like, do you remember? It said, like, you made the right choice, or it was some sort of message like that. And then literally Bob said, all right, everyone. He's like, we're good time to do our franchise, the award ceremony to
Yep.
officially become in pure Soccer Stars fashion, where, just like if you won a soccer game, running down, there's high fives, and we get like a medal and a jersey. But at that moment, I was like, okay, this is the universe giving me that clarity. Like, this is the right call. But even though, yeah, so when I bought, the business, I was like, yeah, I'll just get one unit, and now I'm about to buy my second unit. And now you and I are both franchise consultants with the Franchise Insiders, and things just things change and
They do.
evolve. And I think the clarity piece, back to that, is just being clear on what you want and what that looks like, and that will change. So for me, it's like, I want, because I burn myself out. Like, I was like, I need to replace my salary. I need to replace it, race to replace as fast as possible, because we have a lifestyle. Kids are in private school. We have a mortgage. We live in the Bay Area. Like, it's expensive. And so my goal was to build my business as fast as possible while maintaining an exceptional quality product, and so that was my focus. And but then I burned myself out for from because I didn't feel like I had the money to. I was doing everything. I was coaching 13 classes a week. I was doing sales. I was doing marketing. I was doing hiring, so on and so forth. So then I had to buy. Then I hired a manager part time, and that allowed me to scale and grow the business. And the numbers I'd be seeing today would not be where they are without her. But that clarity then became, okay, the reason I did this in the first place was to spend time with my kids. But I was coaching every weekend and missing all their soccer games, and I was so exhausted. I was falling into bed after coaching 13 classes a week, and I was just done. So the shift was, okay, I need to put the people in place so that I can be a present mom, have a little self care, and grow a successful business at the same time. What about thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I think. That's just something that is really unique to us, is that we are moms. We are, sometimes our husbands are traveling. Mine definitely travels a lot. He's a pilot, so he's gone quite a bit. But I think that both of our journeys now are just how to balance it all and keep it in check. But the clarity part for me was, it was always going to be something I was going to do. I was always going to buy a franchise. I'm glad I bought Soccer Stars. I think our backgrounds are a little different, but the things we have in common that I think make top producers is something like, it's just grit, being resilient, and staying super positive. Like, even though there's tough days being a franchise owner, if you can stay positive and just keep going, you can't really fail, because like your corporate team and the franchisors want you to succeed, and they're there to help you. So I think we're lucky, and then we're also just really unique in that way, that we aren't going to stop if it gets tough. I do think that now that we've been in Soccer Stars for a while, I'm learning about all these other franchises, and I think it's very interesting, because to me, the lower buy-in was exciting for me. It wasn't like 1.2 million and I was going to be out, with a mortgage in jeopardy. And I think that this was a much easier decision to buy into Soccer Stars. My husband played soccer his whole life. It just was that right fit, and it just fit. It wasn't financially too stressful. It felt good at the time, and it still does. So I think we made the right choice. We made the right decision. However, I do think that there's a lot of people out there that want to replace six figures, and they want to replace it really fast. And I think we should talk a little bit about that, because I think if the misconception is, you don't want to spend a lot, right? No one wants to spend their money. No one wants to take out a huge loan. It feels enormous. It feels like a huge weight, a huge burden. You don't know if you're going to succeed, but that's part of the brilliance of a franchise, is if you pick the right one and the right fit, it should succeed for you. You just have to believe in the system and the process. But I think we should talk a little bit about not wanting to spend that money, and then also wanting it to replace your salary, which those two things don't exist.
Right, right. I mean, I am here's the thing. So I think this is interesting, is like I still have not quite replaced my salary, like of what I'm paying myself monthly, like the distribution I'm taking versus what I was taking in before. I am now able to run things through the business. I am now able to write off a lot of things. So I think if I sat down and did the math more, I could be potentially making more in that sense, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
It absolutely makes sense.
Does that make sense?
I think that even more now than ever, too. Like, you've got the Section 179. You put your car under that. If you have a brick and mortar like Sharky's Haircuts for Kids, all of that equipment could fall under one Section 179. So you just never know what kind of benefits there are. And I agree with that. If you can put more under the company and you're doing more, then yes, technically that could be true. We say that a lot with my husband, being in the reserves for the Air Force. Our medical, we pay very little for that. So there's certain things where, like, maybe it doesn't seem like it's a higher salary, but there's a lot of benefits included in that, where it might actually be higher than if we didn't have that.
Yeah, the tax benefits under the big beautiful bill as a franchise owner, I mean, there's a lot in your favor. And so, I get the fear. I totally get the fear. That's a huge fear. The financial security piece, when you have a mortgage, you have kids, you have, fixed things that you pay every month. You have to do the math on that. So you need to have a runway, right? Like, that's what we talk about at the Franchise Insiders, is you need to have a runway of, 150,000, let's say. Okay. Maybe like mine was less, like totally honest, mine was less. I think that's why I burned myself out, because I felt the need to get my revenue to a certain place as fast as possible. Now, that said, it put me in the place of a top performer and top producer. So it's a double edged sword. I mean, it's like I had the fire. I had the fire in my belly because I had to get there. And so I got there, but, at the cost of my health. And my health is fine now, for anyone worried.
She is. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Catherine was MVP of the year last year. I have a feeling she will be again at the next conference, because she still has the fire. It's just more of a balancing act now that's been figured out. But
When it's working smarter, not harder, right? Like we
there you
both know.
go.
Like,
Yes, we
so
talked about that.
let's go back to that, what that looks like. So for the person who's coming in, Morg, who's a W-2 employee, which many are, right? Like, we have AI out there now, right? Displacing jobs left and right. Like, I think I just did a post on it today on LinkedIn. I mean, as a small business owner and as a franchise owner, it is the most exciting time, like to be leaning into AI and to leverage it. Like if you look at what I posted, I think something like my revenue like is up over 300%. My net revenue year over year is up 530%. My numbers would not be that if it wasn't for AI. Like absolutely not. I'd have more people on my team. I would be outsourcing like various tasks like to other people. Like with AI, like it is such an exciting time. So you can scale and build your business faster, yes, with a franchise. That's why you go into big part of why you go into franchising. But then you put that cherry on top, that little AI cherry.
I use the cherry on top for anyone listening.
You put that AI cherry on top, and my God, talk about supercharged power. So supercharged power, and like, let's be real, like you and I didn't really start using that till like 6 months ago.
No, and I wish I would have used it a lot faster. And for me, and I know I talked about it before, and I have a LinkedIn post going about this as well. It's the virtual assistant for me because I was paying
Yeah.
someone who seemed really great at the time, and I think we all fall into this trap. And he was helping me with all the back office nitty gritty things that I just couldn't get to that in order to scale and grow faster. And it just wasn't working. I was paying $30 an hour, and it just was like I was spinning my wheels and nothing was getting done properly, and there were mistakes being made. And now with AI, in addition to the technology that our corporate's been working on, and then this virtual assistant, it feels like I should have been doing this 2 years ago. So for anyone listening, don't start slow, start fast, start using AI now and use AI like your assistant. Like this is the person that's there to help you grow and scale. And I know we've talked about writing before, but it's even like fact checking. Just be like, am I missing anything? I need to get
Market
this email
research.
out. Research. I think my kids are going to say, what are you talking about? What's Google? I mean, I honestly don't even know if that's how they're going to search things anymore, if they're just going to ask AI to search for them.
100%. And just back to something you touched on with the virtual assistant, I do have a manager, but I also now use a virtual assistant, and because of our growth, that has allowed our continue fast-paced growth because Whitney, my manager, is now delegating a lot of the admin work that takes a lot of time to our virtual assistant so she can focus on those things that require that more hands-on touch, right? Like managing our coaches, having those conversations, doing training. Like AI can't replace that. So like that's where I know we're going off topic, but I think it's a great topic and it's an important one. Is that AI? Obviously, everyone's talking about AI, but I think the thing is like you have to understand is AI right now it's a superpower that helps you work faster, better, smarter, and where you really outshine your competitors and be that number one brand in your market is that customer experience, and that customer experience comes down to the franchise owner and their leadership of the team and being a high touch model. I mean, there's like but back to numbers.
Back to numbers.
But back to numbers. That'll be a whole nother podcast. We'll
It'll be
go
another
on.
podcast, but I do
Yeah.
feel like that fear factor going into buying a franchise, this is just like another safety net. You have AI backing you now. You have virtual assistants that can help you right away. So when we bought, we didn't have any of that, and there was a little bit of a fear because you're like, oh gosh, it really is all on me. And now
Yes.
it's really not all on you. As long as you're working that smarter and not harder and you're utilizing all of these tools, it is almost like an extra safety net for you. You have all this stuff backing you, not just the franchisor with the systems built and the branding and the marketing and all the brilliance that goes into that. You have this other team of technology and AI, as I use quotes because it is a team, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's exciting. And then
Wait, so
yes,
let's go back. So
go back to numbers.
let's go back to let's play a little game. So I am a person who currently works for a national corporation,
Mhm.
and I bring in about $300,000, 250, $300,000 a year. I have two kids. I'm just gonna use my own. I have two kids, a mortgage, two cars. My kids are in private school, and it's the culture is toxic. I feel like another cog in the wheel. It doesn't bring me joy. It doesn't bring me meaning or purpose. It's tough. It's really tough. I really have always thought about owning a franchise, but I'm scared because I only have maybe 100,000 or so
Liquid. Yeah.
liquid. What would you say, Morgan?
I would say go and use our financial readiness calculator that the franchise insiders put together. Plug those numbers in and see where you are, see if you're ready. But I think you're in a good place. I think you're in a great spot to buy a franchise, and it's just a matter of what that looks like. So that's where we use the Zoracle assessment. The Zoracle assessment comes in, we'll see which franchise owners or people do you fit best with? What's your personality like? Where do you thrive and where should we not place you? Shockingly, we've had some interesting assessments come back, you and I, where it is you're thinking this person wanted like a crumble cookie, which doesn't exist because they're sold out everywhere. But if you wanted a crumble cookie, and it went in and it popped out that you should never own a food franchise, that would be good to know. But the financial readiness calculator will say, okay, here we are. Here's your financials. Are you ready? Could you afford a crumble cookie? Yes or no? And I think that's really something unique to the franchise insiders and what we do with that group.
Right. And we can educate them, right? Because once we know, okay, what is your liquid? What is your net capital? We do the Zoracle assessment, matching you across hundreds and hundreds of franchise owners, and it's matching you against the top performers. So it's not only like matching your personality, your traits, like Morgan said, against franchise owners in these systems, but it's the very top performers in these systems. So okay, let's just say you match high with Voda restoration and cleaning. You wanted the crumble cookie, like Morgan said, and you've never even thought about restoration, and that just does not sound sexy. But the numbers, the leadership team, we were on a podcast with Dan, with Voda, Dan Claps, CEO of Voda, yesterday. I mean, what they're doing in that space is incredible. I mean, the brand, the leadership, the brain power, the technology. They were talking about what they're doing with AI to get to that. They're doing a whole technology overhaul right now. They do one every 2 years because that's how fast technology is leaping. This is a team they're not going to rest on their laurels. They are always pushing the envelope. They are never satisfied. They always want to keep making it better. That is the type of franchisor and system you want to be a part of.
That's exactly right. And I think there's thousands of franchises out there, and a lot of them, like Jack likes to say, are trash. And we don't want you to go with those franchises that aren't
No.
good. What we do is we whittle that down, and there's probably, what would you say, like maybe 200 that we really look at and reference every day. I don't know that I go beyond 200, but as soon as something's sold out in a territory, I am looking for the next one. But we definitely don't want you picking a franchise that isn't right for you. So we do things differently with a calculator, with the assessments, and we take it seriously. This is a big decision. So we're always here to help and give free advice on our podcast.
Yeah, and I think like the whole concept of our team is franchise owners helping franchise owners. I mean, I came from franchising. Jack and I worked together at a senior care company. I was there for 13 years. Then I bought Soccer Stars. I'm going into year 3. So like between all of our team members, we probably have collectively 50 years of experience within franchising. Like we know what a good franchise looks like. So with the assessments that we're doing, the conversations that we're having, we're really able to match our clients with franchises that are best suited to their lifestyle, their goals, financial, personal, professional.
And before we wrap up, I want to touch really quickly on the fact that this short-term investment that you're making is for long-term gain. It's not just this investment that seems scary. Like if you have to take out the SBA loan, but you're about to make, 6 to 7 figures, maybe make that jump and take the SBA loan and get going. But make sure you're making it with people backing you like First Financial or Benetrends or whoever it is. Make sure you're talking to the right people to finance, but don't be scared of financing. If your goal is to scale and grow at a certain rate, you do have to invest. That's part of the deal. And so you have to get on board.
And I mean, just like to your point, like I am buying a second territory right now for Soccer Stars. And I just took out a business line of credit because I need more capital in order to expand my territory and to help my cash flow. And I was actually scared, Morgan. Like I was a person who was scared of the loan. And, we borrowed against my husband's 401k to make the down payment on the franchise not the royalty, on the franchise fee. But now I'm kind of seeing like Because I'm more comfortable. Like I've grown a lot in the last like 2 years, and I understand the financial piece. Like Morgan knows, like finances was not my strength. Like I was strong in marketing and biz dev and things like that, but financial, like the accounting piece, the legal, the HR, like, and again, that's where buying a franchise is great, because like I didn't need to know any of that, and I have been able to learn on the job and have plenty of resources and people to talk to help me along the way. And now I'm like so much more confident in that. And so I can say, oh, okay, yeah, business line of credit. That's a super smart
That's what
call.
it's going to take. That's what it's
That's what
going
it's
to
going
take.
to take. There's nothing to be scared about. I did
And
it
you
right
have that
away.
exit, you've got that exit strategy that we talk about. That's your
Yeah.
focus right now. You're building to grow to exit eventually, not anytime
And
soon.
you too. And you too.
Yeah. And I think in order to get there, in order to get whatever you're thinking, what is your exit strategy? Just keep that in mind. You do have an end goal when you buy a franchise. You're not in it for life, most likely. You'll probably grow, expand, and maybe move on to something else. But rather than starting at a master's degree, which if you want to get one, great. I thought about it. This is so much better than a master's degree. You might as well just go buy a business right now because it's real money, it's real life, it's real cash,
Yeah.
and if you screw up, it's you're on the line. And I was about to swear, but I won't. But you know what is on the line, and you've got to hustle and make it work. So I think, you start with the masters, maybe you buy a small franchise, you grow, you exit, maybe you go to a bigger franchise, maybe you're investing more. But I think that's what's the beauty of like business ownership and franchise ownership is a lot of the franchises owners that we know that are scaling at the millions and millions of dollars level, they didn't start there. They started
Right.
small. They exited for a reason and then moved on and kept growing and growing and growing. And so I'm excited to see where that takes you, Catherine, and where that takes me and what the
Me
future
too.
holds for sure.
Me too. All right. Well, I think we're at time. So thank you all for listening. And we look forward to having you listen in on our next podcast.
Yes, if you'd like to work with one of us, you can go to thefranchiseinsiders.com, scroll down and pick me or Catherine or work with both of us. We hope to see you at the next one. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.